watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started with the 6 agenda story settings that have made the headlines today. Starting first up, in Bengaluru, an IAF officer and his wife have been brutally attacked and tortured. The accused has been arrested, but this case raises concern on how safe are we on the streets. In another shocker from Bengaluru, Karnataka's former DGP was murdered on a dining table by his schizophrenic wife, and the details of the case will send shiver down your spine. Meanwhile, BJP MP Nishikant Dubey has stirred a massive controversy after he questioned the judiciary. The BJP has now tweeted a decade-old video of Indira Gandhi and reminded the Congress party specifically to not forget their past. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi has done it yet again. On foreign soil, he has casted doubts on the Election Commission, and this has the BJP up in arms against the Congress. And while Rahul Gandhi is making headlines in the United States, Trump's deputy is making headlines here in India as he is on a 4-day visit and is all slated to meet the Prime Minister today in the evening. And finally, a tribute to Pope Francis. Vatican has confirmed that Pope is no more and his death comes after prolonged illness. So these are the 6 stories that we will be getting to you on this edition, starting first up with the top story. Ladies and gentlemen, an Indian Air Force Wing Commander sustained serious injuries when he and his wife Madhumita were allegedly attacked by a group of men in Bengaluru. Now, in a social media post, the Wing Commander with a bloodied face shared his experience. He said the incident happened when his wife was driving him to the airport from the DRDO colony in CV Ramanagar in Bengaluru. He said a bike came from behind, stopped in front of this car and started abusing him. On your screen right now are the visuals of the accused. The IAF officer said that when the attacker tried to damage his car, the officer attempted to stop him. But the attacker assaulted him again, hitting him on the head. Here is the chilling testimony of the IAF officer.
One bike came from behind, stopped in between, stopped our way. I will show you the video of my dash cam also. He came out, started abusing me in Kannada, and then seeing that my car has a DRDO sticker, he says that you be DRDO people, and said many things in Kannada, and finally she abused my wife, and then I couldn't bear it. When I was coming outside, immediately he took his key in his hand and hit me on my head, taking my blood out. I stood there shouting that this is how you people defend whom we defend. Treat a person from the army, from Air Force or from Navy, from the defense forces. More people came surprisingly and started abusing us that we are doing wrong things. That person, he took his stone out, started trying to hit my car. I trying to stop, he hit me on my head again. Here you can see the blood and see my condition. My wife was there, thankfully, to take me out, come in the car. We went to the police station. Presently, no response. We will see it further. We are going to the hospital as per them. But this is what Karnataka has become. I believed in Kannada. But seeing the truth, the reality of main heartland Karnataka, I couldn't believe it. God help us. God gave me the power not to retaliate. Tomorrow, if law and order doesn't help me, I will retaliate. And then these people will have it. Please help me.
Moving on to other stories that we're tracking now, this is another shocking incident that has come to light from the state of Karnataka. Karnataka's former Director General of Police, Om Prakash, 68 years of age, was found dead with multiple stab injuries at his residence in Bengaluru, and this happened on Sunday. Now, the former DGP's wife, Pallavi, was detained later in the evening and was being questioned. On your screen are the visuals of the weapon that was used to murder the former DGP of Karnataka. Republic learns that the murder took place on the dining table where, after a heated argument, the wife stabbed her husband. Now we learn that the ex-top cop's son Kartikesh raised suspicions about his mother's involvement in the murder, claiming that she had repeatedly threatened to kill her husband in the days leading up to his death. The family disclosed that Pallavi had long been struggling with depression and anxiety, often becoming delusional and imagining threats. Here's a detailed report on all that you need to know about the grisly murder that took place in the state of Karnataka.
In a chilling turn of events, former Karnataka Director General of Police Om Prakash was found brutally murdered at his Bengaluru residence on Sunday afternoon. The 72-year-old was discovered lying in a pool of blood in the dining area, with multiple stab wounds believed to have been inflicted with a sharp weapon. Shockingly, the murder unfolded while he was in the middle of lunch. The murder weapon has been recovered. Om Prakash had just sat down to eat with two varieties of fish on his plate when an argument reportedly broke out with his wife Pallavi. What followed was a brutal assault. Pallavi allegedly stabbed him 8 to 10 times with 4 to 5 stab wounds specifically in the abdominal area, causing heavy bleeding and killing him on the spot. The scene was grim. His lunch plate lay untouched near his body, a silent witness to the horrifying act. The remorseless wife stood by watching Om Prakash struggle for about 15 to 20 minutes before breathing his last. After committing the murder, Pallavi and the daughter Kruti reportedly went upstairs to their rooms. Hours later, in a sensational twist, Pallavi herself called the police and confessed to the crime. Meanwhile, VIP security inspector revealed about the last call made by the former DGP. After assuring the security personnel of meeting him, the DGP was later allegedly heard saying that his wife is at home, urging the VIP security inspector to avoid visiting him.
ಥರ ಖುಷಿ ಆಯಿತು ಸರ್. ನಾಳೆ ನಾನು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಸರ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಬೇಡ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಅಂದರು. ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಬೇಡ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್, ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಬೇಡ, ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವ್ರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ನನಗೆ ಆವತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಒಂದು 2 ಮಂತ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂಥರ ಬೇಸರ ಆಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಯಾಕೆ ಬರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು SI ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ, ಸಬ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾನು ಸುಮಾರು ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರ ಹತ್ರ ನಿಕಟಪೂರ್ವವಾಗಿದ್ದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹಂಗಂತ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಕರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ಸಾಹೇಬ್ರು ಕರೆದಿದ್ರು. ಆವಾಗಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆತ್ಮೀಯನಾಗಿದೆ ಸಾಹೇಬರಿಗೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಶವ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿರಿಯ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ಲೆಫ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಉಸಿರಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಆ ನರಕ್ಕೆ ಇದು ಚೂಪಾದ ಆಯುಧದಿಂದ ತಿಳಿದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನನಗೆ ಅದು ನೋಡಿ ಭಾಳ ಇದಾಯಿತು. ಆ ತಾಯಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಬೀಭತ್ಸವಾಗಿ ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Meanwhile, the former DGP's son, Kartikesh, filed a complaint stating that his mother, Pallavi, had been threatening to kill his father, Om Prakash, for the past week, prompting him to seek refuge at his sister's home. Kartikesh also alleged that his sister, Kruti, forcibly brought his father back home against his will, where he was later found brutally injured with a knife and a broken bottle beside his body. The Karnataka Home Minister has also spoken about the chilling murder case. Listen in.
Om Prakash has been murdered, they say by his own wife, but the investigation is on. Until and unless we get the report, the investigation report, we cannot conclude anything. The investigation is on. They are looking at various aspects. Once the report is with us, then we can say how the murder has been done and so on.
The police are currently grilling Pallavi and Kruti with legal action expected. The shocking murder of former DGP Om Prakash has left the community in disbelief as authorities work to uncover the motive behind the murder.
Now, amid the political row over BJP Member of Parliament Nishikant Dube's recent criticism of the Supreme Court, the BJP has shared a decade-old video of the former Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, questioning the Indian judiciary system. Now, BJP IT cell head Amit Malviya posted a clip from an interview on X saying, Indira Gandhi, the Congress must know its own past. In the video, Indira Gandhi could be heard questioning a top court judge's competence to assess political dynamics and economic threats. Now, the video dates back to Indira Gandhi's response to the Shah Commission that was set up in the year 1977 to probe the excesses during the emergency. Headed by Justice J.C. Shah then, the commission had criticized the concentration of the power under her leadership and investigated issues like censorship, police brutality and forced sterilization drives. Here's that video that the BJP shared of the former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi.
How does Mr. Shah know what is happening in the political world? What are the forces at work which want to destroy a developing economy? Is a judge competent to decide that? Then why have democracy? Why have elections? Why have political people in power? How does Mr. Shah know what is happening in the political world? What are the forces at work which want to destroy a developing economy? Is a judge competent to decide that? Then why have democracy? Why have elections? Why have political people in power?
Now, it was just last week when the BJP Member of Parliament Nishikant Dubey stirred a controversy by saying that if the top court continues to act like a legislative body, then the parliament should not exist in the country in the first place. The comment has triggered criticism from the opposition, with the BJP distancing itself from the comments. Listen to what BJP MP Nishikant Dubey had to say earlier this week.
उस पार्लियामेंट को आप डिक्टेट करेंगे? 5 जज बेंच की, जो मैं आपको बताऊं कि नज़ीर की एक जजमेंट है, 1942 की प्रिवी काउंसिल की जजमेंट है, उसमें यह कहा गया कि जहां कानून नहीं लिखा हुआ है उसके बारे में यदि प्रिवी काउंसिल या सुप्रीम कोर्ट कोई जजमेंट देती है तो बात समझ में आती है। यहाँ पूरा जजमेंट लिखा हुआ है कि राष्ट्रपति का क्या अधिकार है, उपराष्ट्रपति का क्या अधिकार है, प्रधानमंत्री का क्या अधिकार है, हमारे पार्लियामेंट का क्या अधिकार है, हमारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट का क्या अधिकार है, हाई कोर्ट का अधिकार है। जब सब कुछ लिखत पढ़त में है तो तुम नया कानून कैसे बना दिया? 3 महीना कहाँ से लेके आ गए कि राष्ट्रपति को 3 महीने के अंदर फैसला करना है? ये किस कानून में लिखा हुआ है? इसका मतलब ये है कि आप इस देश को एनार्की की तरफ ले जाना चाहते हो, और एनार्की जो है इस देश में बर्दाश्त नहीं होगी। जब नया कानून आएगा, जब नया पार्लियामेंट बैठेगा, इसके ऊपर विस्तृत चर्चा होगी। इस देश में धार्मिक युद्ध भड़काने के लिए केवल और केवल सुप्रीम कोर्ट जिम्मेवार है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एकमात्र उद्देश्य है, शो मी द फेस विल शो यू द लॉ। सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपनी सीमा से बाहर जा रहा है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की सीमा ये है कि भारत का संविधान जिस कानून को बनाया उस कानून की उसको व्याख्या करनी है, और यदि वो व्याख्या नहीं कर सकती है और सब कुछ के लिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट जाना है तो इस संसद का कोई मतलब नहीं है, विधानसभा का कोई मतलब नहीं है, उसको बंद कर देना है। इस देश में जितने गृह युद्ध हो रहे हैं उसके जिम्मेवार केवल यहाँ के चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया संजीव खन्ना साहब हैं।
Now, this comment by the BJP MP has stirred a huge political row. Republic spoke to the senior lawyers of the Supreme Court, where they said that this is not for the first time when judiciary overtly or tactically has been criticized by certain members of the executive of its overreach. Listen into some reactions.
I believe he does not have any idea about the functioning of the Supreme Court and the Constitution of India. Supreme Court has the power of judicial review. It can scrutinize every act that is made by Parliament on the touchstone of fundamental rights and other provisions, and that right has been preserved by the citizens of this country against the state. That means Parliament, we have restricted Parliament from making any law which takes away our fundamental rights or are in derogation of our basic rights.
See, this has been in a way a constant tussle. It's not the first time issues are coming up between the judiciary and the executive and who's got the right to decide what. So ultimately this debate will seems to be never ending, though it should end, because ultimately you need the confidence of people in the respective fields. And I think for that, the separation of powers which has been underlying our constitution is the most important. I mean, executive is supposed to decide matters of policy. Executive is supposed to decide matters of law. Executive is supposed to decide as per the constitution.
Moving on, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who is on a visit to the United States, has triggered a political row here in India, stating that the Election Commission has been compromised in India and something was very wrong with the system during his address to the Indian diaspora in Boston. Now, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha alleged that voter turnout data was manipulated during the assembly elections in Maharashtra, a change he has been emphasizing since announcement of the poll results, is what he claims. Rahul Gandhi claimed that more people voted in Maharashtra assembly elections than the number of adults in the state who are eligible to vote. Here's that statement.
In simple terms, more people voted in the Maharashtra assembly elections than there are adults in Maharashtra. This is the fact. And the Election Commission gave us a figure, voting figure, for 5:30 in the evening. And between 5:30 in the evening and 7:30 in the evening, when the polls were supposed to have closed, 65 lakh voters voted. Now, that is physically impossible to happen, right? Because for a voter to vote, it takes approximately 3 minutes. And if you do the math, it would mean that there were lines of voters till 2 o'clock at night voting all night, and this didn't happen. So we asked them, but look, evening, you have videography taking place. If we ask, they not only refused to give us the videography, they changed the law so that now you're not allowed to ask for the videography. So it's very clear to us that the Election Commission is compromised. It's very clear that there is something very wrong with the system. We've said it. We've said it publicly. I've said it multiple times. I've said it in press conferences. Other leaders.
Now, Rahul Gandhi's fresh criticism of the poll body prompted a furious response from the Bharatiya Janata Party, which accused him of tarnishing India's democratic image abroad. BJP said that Rahul Gandhi's statements were part of a long-standing pattern, a pattern to defame India on the foreign soil.
बहुत ही दुख की बात है कि श्रीमान राहुल गांधी विदेश में जाकर अपने देश के प्रति, अपने देश के संविधान ने जो संस्थाएं तैयार की है उनके प्रति इस प्रकार से झूठ बोलने का प्रयास करते हैं, झूठ फैलाने का प्रयास करते हैं, भारतीय लोकतंत्र को बदनाम करने का प्रयास करते हैं, लोकतंत्र पर सवाल या निशान उठाने का प्रयास करते हैं।
राहुल गांधी जॉर्ज सोरोस के एजेंट हैं। राहुल गांधी इज द एजेंट ऑफ जॉर्ज सोरोस। जॉर्ज सोरोस के चंदे पर राहुल गांधी का धंधा चलता है और जॉर्ज सोरोस ही बताता है इनको कि क्या करना है, कैसे कपड़े पहनने हैं, कैसी एक्टिंग करनी है। ये देखिए, ये सारे के सारे आप समझ लीजिए एक बात क्लियरली, ये जॉर्ज सोरोस इनका ट्यूशन मास्टर है और ये देश में हिंदुस्तान के लोकतंत्र को कैसे बदनाम किया जाए, कैसे हमारी इकोनॉमी ध्वस्त हो जाए, हमारा मार्केट कैसे गिर जाए, इसने जॉर्ज सोरोस ने, बहुत मेरे मुंह से चोरोस निकल रहा था, जॉर्ज सोरोस ने वो चिन्हित किया है 5-6 लोगों को कि ये राहुल गांधी एक कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो सकता है, ये देशद्रोह कर सकता है।
And even as the BJP is going all out on Rahul Gandhi, the Election Commission is yet to respond all the allegations of the Congress leader. With that, we move on to the other stories that we are tracking. Now, United States Vice President J.D. Vance arrived on a much anticipated 4-day state visit to India today. His packed 4-day schedule in India, which includes both business and leisure, follows the visit by the United States Intelligence Chief Tulsi Gabbard in March this year. Now, visuals captured the United States Vice President on board Air Force 2 touching down at Delhi's Palam Air Base. Red carpets rolled out as Vance, along with Second Lady Usha Vance, deboarded the aircraft and were received by the Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. An adorable clip showed Vance touching back and receiving his 3 children clad in bright Indian ethnic wear. Now, J.D. Vance is all slated to meet the Prime Minister in the evening today. In fact, just in a short moment from now, we will get in those live visuals of Trump's deputy meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But before we get to that, here's all that you need to know about his visit, his 4-day visit, in fact, to India.
Delhi rolled out the red carpet for US Vice President J.D. Vance as he arrived for a 4-day visit to India. Winding up his visit to Rome earlier, Vance, along with his wife Usha and 3 children, emplained for Delhi. Visuals capture the Vances on board Air Force 2 touching down at Delhi's Palam Air Base. Holding hands, the Vances were received by Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw as they disembarked from the aircraft. An adorable clip showed the US Vice President tracking back to the aircraft to pick up his children as he stepped down in bright ethnic wear. After inspecting the Tri-Services Guard of Honor, the US Vice President climbed inside his vehicle as his cavalcade rolled out. The Vances later arrived at the iconic Akshardham temple in the capital. Vice President Vance was pictured taking in the sights at the temple complex with his family in tow. From Akshardham, the Vances left for an emporium in Delhi's Janpath for a spot of shopping. The US Vice President is set to call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi later this evening. According to sources, the ongoing trade talks between India and the US is likely to figure prominently at the meeting. The PM is also set to host a dinner at his residence in honor of the visiting US Vice President. With the anticipation building up around the big-ticket meeting, the logic question is, can Delhi leverage its growing ties with Washington to extract further tariff concessions?
A pall of gloom descended on the Catholic world after the Vatican announced the passing of Pope Francis today. According to the statement from the Vatican, the 88-year-old pontiff passed away after prolonged illness. The Pope recently recovered from a bout of double pneumonia, but his concerns around his health continued to persist. Take a look at this detailed report.
The Vatican released a short statement saying that the Pope has passed away at 88 after battling prolonged illness. A pall of gloom descended on the Catholic world even as mourners were seen gathering around the Vatican. The death came a day after the Pope led the Easter prayers at the Vatican amid persisting concerns around his health. Earlier on February 14, the Pope was admitted to a hospital for bronchitis. The Vatican later issued a health update saying the Pope was diagnosed with bilateral pneumonia and was in critical condition. Making his first public appearance since being hospitalized, the Pope was seen at Vatican's window flashing a thumbs up at a crowd that had gathered to see him. The Pope greeted crowds at the Easter Sunday service a day after meeting US Vice President J.D. Vance. As the word of his demise got, Prime Minister Narendra Modi put out a statement expressing his condolences. The only Latin American pontiff drew huge crowds on his overseas travels and was much loved the world over for preaching interfaith peace. While not naming a successor, the Vatican announced that Pope Francis will be laid to rest at Basilica of Santa Maria in Rome. The College of Cardinals, comprising the senior Catholic clergy, will pick the next pope.